Nirvana. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Content unspecified, content unspecified, content unspecified. What is the cause of old age and death? When do old age and death occur? It is when there is birth that there is old age and death. Old age and death are sequels of birth. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Existence is pain. Existence is pain. Existence is pain. To what is coming into existence due? On what occasion is there coming into existence? It is when possession has been taken that coming into existence occurs. So, coming into existence is on the occasion of taking possession. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Avidya destroyed. Avidya destroyed. Avidya destroyed. What causes possession to be taken? On what occasion is possession taken? When there is desire, possession is taken. So the cause of taking possession is desire. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Memory restored. Memory restored. Memory restored. What is the cause of desire? On what occasion is there desire? It is when there is sensation that there is desire. Thus, desire is caused by sensation. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Suffering abolished. Suffering abolished. Suffering abolished. When is there sensation? On what occasion is there sensation? It is when there is contact that there is sensation. What occasions sensation is contact. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. End of fear. End of fear. End of fear. When is there contact? What is the occasion of contact? When there are 6 sequences, there is contact. Contact is occasioned by 6 sequences. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. End of compulsion. End of compulsion. End of compulsion. When are the 6 sequences? What occasions the 6 sequences? When there is name and form, there are 6 sequences. Thus, the 6 sequences are occasioned by name and form. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. End of death, end of death, end of death. When is there name and form? What occasions name and form? When there is consciousness, there is name and form. Thus, name and form come into being with consciousness. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. End of birth, end of birth, end of birth. When is there consciousness? What occasions consciousness? When the preconditions occur, there is consciousness. Thus, the preconditions occasion consciousness. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Craving, let go. Craving, let go. Craving, let go. When are there preconditions? What occasions? Preconditions. When there is avidya, there are preconditions. Thus, preconditions are occasioned by avidya. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. The self extinguished, the self extinguished, the self extinguished. I am awake. I am awake. I am awake. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. I am awake. I am awake. I am awake. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Dispassion and calm. Dispassion and calm. Dispassion and calm. These 2 extremes, O monks, are not to be practiced by one who has gone forth from the world. What are the 2? That conjoined with the passions, low, vulgar, common, ignoble, and useless, and that conjoined with self-torture, painful, ignoble, and useless. Nirvana, 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 imperfect but accepting, imperfect but accepting, imperfect but accepting. Avoiding these two extremes, the Tathagata has gained the knowledge of the middle way, which gives sight and knowledge and tends to calm, insight, enlightenment. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. The canker's cured, the canker's cured, the canker's cured. What, O monks, is the middle way which gives sight? It is the noble eightfold path, namely, right views, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. This, O monks, is the middle way. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Spiritual understanding, spiritual understanding, spiritual understanding. Now this, O monks, is the noble truth of pain. Birth is painful. Old age is painful. Sickness is painful. Death is painful. Sorrow, lamentation, dejection, and despair are painful. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Stable outlook, stable outlook, stable outlook. This noble truth of pain must be comprehended. Thus, O monks, among doctrines unheard before, by me was truth comprehended. And thus, O monks, among doctrines unheard before, in me sight and knowledge arose, wisdom, knowledge, light arose. Nirvana, 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 insight supreme, insight supreme, insight supreme. Now this, O monks, is the noble truth of the cause of pain, that craving which leads to rebirth, combined with pleasure and lust. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Emotional maturity attained, emotional maturity attained, emotional maturity attained. Finding pleasure here and there, namely the craving for passion, the craving for existence, the craving for non-existence. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Modus vivendi, modus vivendi, modus vivendi. This noble truth of the cause of pain is to be abandoned. Thus, among doctrines unheard before, by me was truth comprehended. And thus, O monks, among doctrines unheard before, in me sight and knowledge arose, wisdom, knowledge, light arose. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Reasonable, reasonable, reasonable. This is the noble truth of the abandonment of the cause of pain. Thus, among doctrines unheard before, in me sight and knowledge arose. Nirvana, 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 factual, factual, factual. Now this, O monks, is the noble truth of the cessation of pain, the cessation without a remainder of that craving for abandonment, forsaking release, non-attachment. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Realistic, realistic, realistic. This noble truth of the cessation of pain is to be realized. Thus, O monks, among doctrines unheard before, by me was truth comprehended. And thus, O monks, among doctrines unheard before, in me sight and knowledge arose. Wisdom, knowledge, light arose. Nirvana, 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 comprehensive, comprehensive, comprehensive. This is the noble truth of the cessation of pain. Thus, O monks, among doctrines unheard before, in me sight and knowledge arose. Nirvana, 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 scientific, scientific, scientific. Now this, O monks, is the noble truth of the way that leads to the cessation of pain. This is the noble eightfold path, namely right views, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Loving, loving, loving. This noble truth of the Eightfold Path is to be practiced. Thus, O monks, among doctrines unheard before, by me was truth comprehended. And thus, O monks, among doctrines unheard before, in me sight and knowledge arose. Wisdom, knowledge, light arose. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Patient, patient, patient. This is the noble truth of the Eightfold Path. Thus, O monks, among doctrines unheard before, in me sight and knowledge arose. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Kind, kind, kind. As long as these noble truths, my threefold knowledge and insight duly, with its 12 divisions, was not well purified, even so long, O monks. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Beginner's mind, beginner's mind, beginner's mind. In the world, with its gods, Mara, Brahma, with ascetics, Brahmins, gods, and men, I had not attained the highest complete enlightenment. Thus I knew. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. But when in these noble truths my threefold knowledge and insight duly, with its 12 divisions, was well purified, then, O monks, nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Compassion, compassion, compassion. I had attained the highest complete enlightenment. Thus I knew. Knowledge arose in me, insight arose, that the release of my mind is unshakable. This is my last existence. There is no more rebirth. Nirvana, nirvana, nirvana. Freedom, freedom, freedom. I am awake. I am awake. I am awake. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. I am awake. I am awake. I am awake. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Nirvana, nirvana, pari-nirvana, down and up through all space and time, ananda, ananda, pari-nirvana, the bodhisattvas arise. Bodhidharma, Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri, Tara, Akshobhya, Dipankara, the creator of light. Nirvana, nirvana, pari-nirvana, Vajrasattva, Ratnasambhava, Amitabha, Vairocana, Amoghasiddhi, Maitreya, the future Buddha awaits the auspicious time. There is nothing permanent in the empirical self. All things must pass. The Four Noble Truths lead through the Eightfold Path to Nirvana. From within the circle of light, moving round the Buddha life, shining through, steady and cool, clear and bright. Nirvana.